Hello, Tuckahoe community. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Faith Sparks, Business Manager for the Tuckahoe School District. I'm glad to have this opportunity to present to you an exciting and important change that's coming to our school food service program for the 2025-26 school year. Starting in the 2025-26 school year, all public school students in New York State are eligible to receive one free breakfast and one free lunch each school day through the state-funded Universal Free Meals Program. During this presentation, I will walk you through what is considered a free meal under the guidelines, what's included, what's not included in the program, why it is still important to complete income application forms, and hopefully at the end of this presentation, I will have answered any questions that you might have about the program. Now let's dive in to the guidelines on what's included in a free meal. We'll start with breakfast. A free breakfast meal under this program includes at least 3 of the 4 offered items. One of them must be a fruit. So in order to be considered a free meal, students can take 3 or 4 of the items offered, and one has to be a fruit. The 4 components that we are required to offer at breakfast are a grain. An example is a bagel or a roll, pancake, muffins, French toast, cereal, or any other whole grain or bread item. During breakfast, there is flexibility to substitute a meat or meat alternate instead of a grain. And I'll get a little deeper into that on the next slide. Students have the option of either a fresh fruit, an apple, an orange. We have fresh fruit available daily, or a 100% fruit juice. Milk is an offered component, and we will offer an additional item, which could be a second grain, a second fruit, a protein. It's really student choice. So breakfast meals that do not include the required components will incur an a la carte charge. There is a limit of 1 free breakfast per student per day, and a second breakfast will be charged at the breakfast meal rate. Now I'll walk you through some examples of a compliant free breakfast and some examples of a non-compliant breakfast that would incur a charge. Examples of a compliant free breakfast are a whole grain bagel with a cheese stick, milk, and apple slices. Pancakes with turkey sausage and a 100% fruit juice. Egg and cheese on a whole grain roll with a 100% fruit juice. Bacon, egg, and cheese on a whole grain roll with an orange. A yogurt cup with a muffin and a fresh fruit cup. Those are all examples of a compliant free breakfast. Some examples of a non-compliant breakfast that would incur a charge are a bagel and milk. This is non-compliant because it's missing the fruit component. Egg and cheese on a whole grain roll. Again, this is not compliant because it's missing a fruit component, which is required at breakfast. Scrambled eggs and 100% fruit juice. This is also non-compliant. So while it has the fruit requirement, it still needs 1 additional component. A yogurt with just granola is also non-compliant as it's missing the required fruit component. Our food service staff are trained in the USDA guidelines and will offer students the missing components required to make a complete meal, either at the point of sale or at the serving line. They will offer fruit or fruit juice or an extra option if they already have the fruit requirement. Our staff are trained and will work with our students to make a complete meal. Now we'll dive into lunch. The USDA guidelines for lunch say that students have to select at least 3, but can select up to 5 of the components offered and are noted below. one must be a fruit or a vegetable to be considered a free meal. The 5 required components that we offer are fruits, vegetables, grains like bread, rice, or pasta, a meat or meat alternate like chicken, beans, beef, or cheese, and a milk component. Lunch meals that do not include all the required components will incur an a la carte charge. There is a limit of 1 free lunch per student per day, and a second lunch will be charged at the lunch meal rate. Examples of a compliant free lunch are a cheeseburger with French fries, low-fat milk, and carrot sticks, chicken dumplings with vegetable fried rice, a side of broccoli, and a 100% fruit juice, beef nachos, roasted cauliflower with a cup of fresh fruit, and a 100% fruit juice, boneless chicken wing potato bowl served with a dinner roll and broccoli. Those are all examples of a compliant free lunch under the program. Some examples of a non-compliant lunch that would incur an a la carte charge are if a student just wanted 1 slice of a cheese pizza. So while this has the meat and meat alternate component with the cheese and the whole grain component with the pizza crust, it is missing the fruit or vegetable requirement. And students can take additional requirements as they're allowed up to 5 components with a free meal. If a student just wanted French fries and a fresh fruit cup, this is also non-compliant. It's missing other offered component. It does have the required fruit, but it is missing other components that they can take. Another example of a non-compliant lunch is just chicken nuggets. This is non-compliant as it's missing a fruit or vegetable, and students have the option of taking additional components with their meal. As with breakfast, our food service staff are trained in the guidelines that the USDA sets forth and will work with students and offer them the components they need to make this non-compliant meal into a compliant meal. We encourage families to talk with their kids and explain what is included and what is not included so that they understand their options. We will work with them too. Again, our serving line staff are very knowledgeable and will do everything they can to offer students the required components. Let's talk about Build Your Plate. As part of the Universal Free Meals program, we want to help students build healthy eating habits by encouraging them to try new foods and make balanced choices. We remind students to fill their plates with color, which often means a variety of fruits and vegetables. As mentioned before, our staff will offer students that do not have compliant meals at the point of sale options to grab a fruit or a vegetable to make their meal compliant. We encourage students to be open-minded and try something new, even if it's just a bite. We hold menu item tastings at the high school monthly, and we do them at Cottle as well. This allows children to try different foods and get some of these new items into our menu rotation if they are a hit. And all the sample items I mentioned in the previous slides on what makes a complete meal and what doesn't are all offerings that we have in our cafeterias here at Tuckahoe. Our offerings include the 5 food groups. We follow the USDA nutrition guidelines, which is based on these 5 main food groups to help ensure our students get the nutrients they need to grow, stay energized, and focused in class. Fresh fruits are served daily and provide important vitamins. And we can also substitute with juices that are 100% fruit juice. Vegetables, our school serves a variety of leafy greens, carrots, or beans. Our grains are whole grains, which give students lasting energy and fiber, such as whole wheat bread and pastas. Our proteins, which are meat and meat alternates, include items like chicken, cheese, beans, and yogurt to help build muscles and support growth. Our offerings include meats with no fillers and no antibiotics. Our cold cuts are Boar's Head brand or equivalent. Students are offered low fat or fat free milk, which provides calcium and vitamin D for strong bones and teeth. What is not included in the free meal program? So while students are eligible for one free breakfast and one free lunch each day, some items are not covered in the universal free meal program. So not everything is free in this program. A la carte items such as snacks, chips, water bottles, cookies, ice cream, those are not included in the free meal program, and students will need to pay for those. Second meals are not included in the free meal program. So getting a second breakfast or a second lunch on the same day will incur a charge at the meal rate. And incomplete meal items. So incomplete meals, as I mentioned before, if your student just wants milk or just a slice of cheese pizza or just fries and they don't have all the required components, that will incur an a la carte charge. So purchasing snack items and a la carte items is still available as it was in the past. The payment options are remaining the same. Families can fund meal accounts online at myschoolbucks.com. Creating an account is free. Transaction fees apply for online payments, and you're able to monitor account balances and student cafeteria purchases online through myschoolbucks.com. You can also send a check to the school. Checks should be payable to Tuckahoe UFSD. Be sure to include your student's name, grade, and meal account in the memo line. And funds in these accounts can be used for snacks, extra milk, second meals, and other a la carte items. We still encourage families to submit the free meal income applications. We will be mailing these home to all families at the start of the school year. You should be receiving them shortly. So your students will receive one free breakfast and one free lunch each day, regardless of your meal, your application status or results. However, submitting the application could make you eligible for other benefits, such as reduced exam fees for APs and SATs. And there are also some waivers for college applications for families that qualify under those income guidelines. We do report the number of income applications that are approved directly to the state, and it does get factored into how much Title I funding our district receives. And also, even with universal free meals, the state still needs to collect income data for program evaluations, compliance, and equity reporting. So we do encourage all families to submit the income applications. Just please keep in mind, this will not impact your eligibility for free meals. For questions regarding free lunch applications, please contact Karen Barros at the email address noted on this slide. For questions regarding the school food service program, please contact our food service director from Aramark, Kiana Whitehead. Her email address is also noted here on the slide. And for families looking for information about the New York State SNAP program, the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, I've linked their web link here. So you can click on this and get some more information about New York State's SNAP program. I hope we've answered a lot of your question about this program. Thank you for joining me on this presentation and taking the time to listen to it. If you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. Thank you.